Hey, yo, what the hell is going on, friends? Welcome back to another insane episode of In Madness Pod. I don't know what this is 34.75 or 34.99. Either way, whatever order it is, this is the episode. I'm Sean the Butcher. I'm here with Vertebrae 33. What's going on, dude?
What's happening, Sean? We are still deep in to the world of Alien right
Yes.
now. This
Yes.
is happening, and you're going to do your intro right now, and I'm just cut you off and say this is an extremely exciting episode.
So technically, I want to thank first Chris and Heather from Mischief Toys who were on with us the week before, leading up to Comic-Con, or it might have been 2 weeks before, depending on when we post this episode. Either the Comic-Con episode is going to be after them, or this episode is going to be after them, and the Comic-Con episode is coming because it was a quick turnaround for me having to be there Saturday and post a brand new episode Monday, and you're like, I don't know how we're going to do it because I'm working all weekend. So I'm glad we can get something to the In Madness family. You had put a request out for some voice notes and some emails, and the In Madness family came through. So we would like to thank everybody who has contributed to this episode. We are still riding high on the wave of episode 34 Alien. This is why this episode is still in the 34 numbering system. There's a theme to everything.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow the premier podcast at In Madness Pod on all the socials, inmadnesspod@gmail.com, which is where all of your emails go, whether you're sending us voice notes or emails about this movie or any of the movies we have covered in the compendium of the almost 2 years of In Madness. On YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the 5 stars, comment, check out the In Madness Spotify playlist, which is, I'm not gonna lie, it's one of my favorite parts of doing this entire podcast is being able to incorporate music into it. And we just added some gnarly new songs from what the hell did we add? Delusions of Morality.
my band is not on Spotify yet. If you were into the other episodes, you know that my band, which was called what, Sean?
Micro Changes in Air Density.
I like the way you say it. So that's my band. We haven't recorded yet. We played live. Things are going okay. A keyboardist quit. We'll get another guy in there, but yeah, we're going to be on tour soon. We're going to hit all the libraries. We're going on a library tour. Shout out to your local library, as Sean would say.
That's where I get my
Absolutely.
friggin' movies. That's where I rent my movies to review for In Madness Pod. Shout out to your local library. We also added The Bug from Pig Destroyer. That's the one I was thinking about.
Oh,
With the
yeah.
alien alarm. Woo, 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 woo. You can pick up your In Madness t-shirt inmadness.com or at New York Comic-Con, baby. We will be there, or we were already there. Either way, I got my stack of stickers in the mail. I can't wait to tag up stickers all over the place. And quickly, Vertebrae, what mug do you have for this 0.7599 episode?
So Halloween season, I just have a nice cobwebbed up, beautiful handle mug. Not all of them are movies, Sean. Some are just nice, comfy. This is a nice, comfy mug to hold. And then I have, for people on YouTube, I got a hoodie that I'm debuting on the podcast. That's an Alien.
Check us out on YouTube. Oh, wait, what am I seeing there?
So it's the title screen of Alien, like when they do it. So it's all, hold on, I'm going to stand up so Sean can see it. He'll narrate.
So it is. It's kind of like the Matrixy writing, like it's falling from above.
Yeah, that's from that place, Last Exit to Nowhere. I've ordered a bunch of.
You got to check us out on YouTube if you want to see all this cool stuff.
Yeah, you got to join us on YouTube, and you can see our smiling faces. But Sean, Alien, we're still in Alien. Can't get out of it.
Those were 3 great episodes. I had a lot of friends hitting us up, giving us the chef's kiss emoji for the job that we did. We waited 1 year and 8 months to do it, and I feel like we did the best that we could with what we gave everybody.
Absolutely. I do feel like I could have done a little bit of a better job.
I feel like I could have sold the ship a little better.
Mm-hmm.
when they find the rogue ship. I definitely could have. Yeah. No, I was listening the whole time, and I was like, yeah, there were little things, but I mean, that's the thing. That's why we have this episode, and that's why we
Right.
have everybody also contributing for this episode. Thank you if you contributed.
So I just want to say that this doesn't have to stop after this. If people want to send in audio clips anytime, that's just part of our mail now. We got a bigger mailbox. We can fit more stuff in it. So you send us whatever you want. Send us photos of your collection. You can do that. People have done that on Twitter, right? We had people sending us pictures of stuff that they had, alien stuff. Love to see it. I think we didn't do a ton of posting. I have a whole mess of alien shirts that I could probably post, and I'm sure you got some toys. There's other stuff we could post, but there was no rush to do it all at once because we'll just be always talking about alien in some way, shape, or form. So
This is a very interactive podcast. We would like to interact with you. If you're listening and enjoying this, we want to hear your thoughts about it, which is exactly what we are going to do for this episode. Vertebrae was like, send your voice notes. And I was like, let's see if we get some voice notes. So here's the deal. And I love synchronicity. We have 5 voice notes and we have 5 emails. Out of the millions that we have received, we are going to read 5 emails and play 5 voice notes.
sure.
So what I was thinking of doing is going back and forth from
Fantastic.
emails to voice notes.
Love it. And just so everyone knows, we have not listened to any of these voicemails
Or read any of these emails.
So if any of these voicemails end with "you guys are idiots" and you messed this, and this up, we will know exactly as we're recording this. We will not edit it out. We will listen together like it's live, and we'll see what happens. I'm still waiting for hate mail, Sean. I want somebody to write in and tell me I missed like 10 gnarly bits, and here they are, and how could you not know that? But I never get it.
Self-conscious vertebrae. No, you're
I never get it.
that's the
Bring the
thing.
heat.
That's because you're doing great work. So let's start with an email. So, I mean, I'm going back and forth between sharing my screen and sharing my audio and looking at my phone and reading emails. And I smoked a couple bowls. So things are going to get a little all over the place. So let's start with an email. So check it out. An email from our spam mail, which I completely forgot to ever look in, and found an email from September. Oh, Vertebrae's putting the shades on. Check them out on YouTube. So check it out. We have an email from September. I don't know if it was even September of this year.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm so sorry.
My apologies to Jason. Okay, Jason writes us a short email. Thank you, Jason. Are you ready, Vertebrae?
I'm ready. Hold on. I'm ready. Let's go.
The shades are off. You're like Terminator. Jason says, good day, gentlemen. This is Jason from Ohio. I have written in a few times. This one is hopefully a short one. Oh, thank you, Jason. I apologize. This went to our spam. Without sounding like a fanboy, I just want to say thanks for your guys' work with the podcast. It's the highlight of my Mondays. I find myself listening to past episodes anytime I have a long drive. Thank you, Jason. I hope you got a t-shirt. You have injected a 7-minute sponsor segment every 10 minutes the way some other podcasts do. Oh, we probably will soon enough. Without getting too much into it, I have stopped listening to some of their favorite podcasts due to the fact they have a bunch of commercials. I never supported anyone on Patreon, and the off chance you guys come up with one, I'll probably support you guys through it. Thank you, Jason. I would love to shoot the shit with you guys about movies, but not necessarily in Madness episodes. I want to hear what movies you want to talk about, Jason. Send us some emails because we could address those in our point fives. That's what we do. We go all over the place. If you guys are open to do a Discord server, Patreon account, let us know. Thanks for what you do, Jason. Thank you, Jason. So that was an old one. That one wasn't about Alien, but it was in our spam. So I feel like we just had to give Jason some love.
Thank you very, very much, Jason. That is awesome. I want to say that if you're interested in Patreon, maybe a Discord server too, just stay tuned for 2025 because there are some plans in the works and we just got to figure it out. Our thing is, if we're going to do this, then we got to make sure we give more to people that are our Patreons. And the problem with that is we struggle to just give this. So we're, we're trying to find a way to give more and make it worth people's while. I don't want people just signing up because, hey, I like you and here's a few bucks a month just because. I want to give them something else along with it.
Some
We'll certainly
prizes,
tier it.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll tier it. There could be a level for that, and then there could be like kind of a more hardcore fan. All of them, all the podcasts do it, and we'll see what happens. But we're just sort of kicking the tires on it now. We wanted to build this up for a little while, and I wanted to get better at it before I was asking people for any money. But I also want to make it something cool, and we'll give something. We kicked around a few ideas. We'll see what happens. But what an awesome email! Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. All right, let's share some audio. Are you ready? You're going to have to tell me if you can hear this. Bear with me. I'm adding this. Ready? And then I'm going to play our first alien voice submission. First voice submission to the show ever from Kaposi, frontman of Lost Becomes. This is his take on Alien.
What's up, everyone? It's Anthony from Lost Becomes. That's right, your previous guest. Anyway, Alien. Let's talk Alien. I do not remember the first time watching that movie, but I remember being a little weirded out, but then being slightly obsessed with the characters and wanting all the toys.
Yes.
But my one memory growing up on Long Island, my oldest brother Dan had a friend that ran a haunted house out of his literal house, like I guess his parents' house at the time.
Like Vertebrae.
But he was into like SFX and just all that cool stuff. Literally walking through the house, you saw a doctor, quote unquote, dismembering a patient.
Cool.
And he would pull out the guts, pull out the tongue. Maybe that's where my obsession with gore came from. But so at the end of it, you walked out the kitchen area into the back porch, I remember. And this guy had a full xenomorph just moving.
Sick.
And the lights were flickering and it looked insane. It scared me for about a month and it made me love xenomorphs and Predator. So have a good one in Menace. That's my take.
Kaposi. You heard that?
Awesome.
Did that sound good? It sounded all right?
Yeah, that sounded awesome. That's great. I love that he was like, that was my love of xenomorphs and Predator. Like,
and Predator.
Like,
have you ever been to South Street Seaport?
Yes.
Don't they have like a big like xenomorph there for like no reason?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I would always remember going on school trips to the South Street Seaport, and for whatever reason, there was a huge xenomorph there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was just me. Damn.
You want to know
that? If you ever went there and saw it, let us know at In Madness Pod.
You want to know a secret about me, Sean?
Yeah.
I hate haunted houses.
You're making one for Halloween in your house.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm behind the scenes, but I don't like being.
I was
not
just
in
planning.
Situations.
The day we recorded this, I was planning all the haunted houses that I'm going to hit up throughout the month, so I could scare the crap. Yeah, I'll be honest. I used to hate them as well, and as of very recently, I'd say the last 5 years and late in my life, I have grown to absolutely love them. But again, I could see why it's not your thing. It's probably the complete opposite of your thing.
Yeah. But that's awesome. We got another email.
Yes, we are. We have Joe Miro, our guest from our Die Hard episode, Merry Christmas from last year. Joe Miro. Okay, cool. He says, "Hey guys, hopefully I didn't miss the cut. See below for my thoughts on Alien. I first saw it as a kid. It is forever one of the most perfect films. The build-up, the acting, the special effects, and the set design are among some of the best ever. Even the tagline, in space, no one can hear you scream. What other movies at the time were able to make the idea of floating in space even scarier? I think what makes the movie so unique is the dark, bleak, barren atmosphere. From the crew's anxiety, the chest burster, to the ultimate reveal and face off with the iconic xenomorph. This film creates a perfect unsettling suspense suspense, and to me personally, a standard for all sci-fi horrors for the last 45 years, and nothing has topped it still. H.R. Giger's design and work for various scenes, backgrounds, and the actual xenomorph are absolutely weird, but somehow beautiful. I can't imagine this movie being any other way other than what it is. The very idea of this movie can only come from the same dark, imaginative corner of the human mind that a xenomorph would lurk. Every time I watch it, it feels like the first time. It's absolute perfection. Thanks, Joe Miro. Shout outs to Creepy Canvases. Shout outs to Joe Miro. Check out Creepy Canvases and check out our Die Hard episode from last Christmas, because as we determined in that episode, spoiler alert, Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Absolutely. And we go through those points, I think, as we're doing it, and they all add up to, yes, it is a Christmas movie. But thank you very much, Joe. That's awesome. Thank you.
I wanted to highlight Capozzi. He talked about the toys and how much, like, I forget who it is I follow on the socials, but they posted like the cardboard back of like the Alien Queen toy, and it had all of the other toys. And I'm like, I had every single one of them: the Bishop, the Drake, the Ripley, the yellow thing, and
except Sean.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stop you. I don't know what toys he's referring to, because none of those toys existed until they made another movie. So from 1979 until 1986, when Aliens came out, those toys didn't exist.
Well, yeah, but he got it.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't born till much later.
Yeah, so he's jumping in. Yes, but the toys he's referring to are not the original Alien. They're
not
sequels.
the big Alien that we promoted in another episode. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So all that stuff, all those figures, all came later. But I get it. You jump in when you jump in, but in our world, that doesn't exist yet because we haven't covered Aliens yet.
Yeah,
in our canon, you know what I mean?
Let's go to another voicemail. We have Brandon from Talking Bay podcast from our menu episode. He sent us an alien email. Can you hear this?
Hey, it's Brandon from Talking Bay 94, as well as the Barbarian episode of this very podcast. And I have been asked to give my succinct thoughts on Alien 1979, maybe the greatest horror movie, maybe the greatest sci-fi movie, maybe one of the greatest movies of all time. Can't wait to hear what y'all say about it. Every time I watch it, I'm just blown away by the world building, by the quiet confidence that Ridley has, such an early part of his career. Every single actor in this movie is maybe the greatest actor of all time. And the practical effects and the actual xenomorph design with Geiger, it's just like nonstop some of the greatest things I've ever seen in a movie. That all to say, the Roger Christian set design, right? Roger Christian, of course, had just finished working on the original Star Wars and then went immediately to do this for Alien. And it really shows in the ship and in that world building as well. And it really just goes to show how beautiful this movie is and how lasting its legacy is. I can't wait to hear what y'all say about it, but that is my immediate thoughts on maybe the greatest movie of all time. All right, have fun.
Yeah, Brandon, Talking Bay 94 podcast. Did I say he was on our menu episode? Because he was on our Barbarian episode.
Yes, he was on the Barbarian episode.
Yes.
But yeah, that was awesome. Thank you, Brandon. It's very nice of you and very succinct. And he gets his Star Wars reference in there too. It's perfect.
Which one was the Star Wars reference?
With Roger Christian, that's what he's talking about. So he moved on. So 1:16, he gets one in, which is great. But I agree with him. And listening to that, Sean, I'm like, all right, maybe we should just scrap the rest of this podcast and we just come on every week and talk about
Alien for the rest of eternity. But then how will we get to the Thing? We almost got to the Thing in our Alien episode when Ripley was calling for Antarctica.
Yeah, true. We're not going to do that, but I think there's certainly spaces for us to talk about Alien and the rest of the films coming up.
Let's get to Brett Johnson in our email. Short one. Brett says, hey, yo, Brett, what's up? Sean, I just learned that we share a birthday. Happy belated birthday. Happy belated birthday, Brett. Thank you. As when you're reading this, I hope you had a great one. I know you did. What better gift than my favorite podcast doing my favorite movie? I have a lot of alien and alien related things I want to talk about, but to keep this from getting too long, I'll save that for another email. Oh, the Brett just wanted to say happy birthday. Thank you, Brett. That's
Right.
awesome. Right. I've been
Awesome.
texting.
Thank you, Brett.
I've been texting with Capozzi, and anytime I say anything now, he just goes, right. I'm like, don't
Right.
patronize me. All right, let's go back to our voicemails. We got, our buddy Herman from Johnny Booth from our Ex Machina episode. We've covered so many dope movies with so many great people. Let's hear from Herman about Alien.
So I remember watching Alien for the first time when I was a kid with Ryan, our guitarist, and Johnny Booth. Him and his father showed me that movie for the first time. And it was the first science fiction movie I saw that was kind of like a horror movie in the way that it was filmed. It was very scary and about this kind of like mysterious like hand creature roaming around, a lot of like jump scares. It's very different from a lot of the other Alien movies, and it definitely had a huge impact on me. I think the way it's shot, especially from the time period it came from, super interesting, very innovative, kind of merging two genres in a way that a lot of people weren't doing it well, at least. And obviously Sigourney absolutely crushed it. So I absolutely love this movie. Glad you guys are doing something with it. Alien is sick.
Yeah, Herman, Johnny Booth. So
Awesome.
cool. It's great
Very
to see
cool.
how this
Very
movie affected so many different people and
Mhm.
everyone's love for it. How can you not? How can you not? And it took me a while. It took me a while till I realized that Alien was one of the superior aliens because I saw it backwards.
3, 2, 1 is how Sean saw
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1. We got another email here from Tom Henderson who says, shortest email ever, I promise. Thank you, Tom. Keeping it short and sweet. Tom Henderson's a good dude. He's always on the socials. He's always got like funny stuff to post and cool things to say. He's always representing for In Madness. Thank you, Tom. Hello, Vertebrae, and salutations, Dr. Sean. Yes, thank you for addressing me as doctor, as I had asked in our Arrival episode. Check that out. Another amazing movie. Just wondering if Vertebrae, being the absolute legend he is, artist, has ever thought about making a monster creature mascot for the podcast. As always, I fucking love you guys. Make mine madness. Tom, the Alien 3-parter was dope, he says.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Thank you. Sure. I mean, well, we kind of had one with the eyeball shirt we did is kind of like a little bit of a creature, but we could dive into it. We should like a cute mascot, you think, Sean?
No, it's got to be.
No.
I mean, or like a cute grim, yeah, like something dark, but like cute,
Yeah.
like a combination of a gremlin and a magpie.
the same thing.
I mean, one's cute and cuddly, and one's disgusting. I think you mash them together, and that's what the In Madness mascot would be.
But they're both gremlins.
Yeah, but but you know what I mean.
Yeah. I like to hit Sean with actual facts. You know what we haven't had a lot in the recent episodes, Sean, is Sean facts.
I know, because I haven't been so terribly off on some
you've
of
been
my
doing
facts
too
lately.
much
That's
research.
the thing. I have been doing an extensive amount of research.
I miss it.
And reading subtitles. We got another email from your buddy Doug, who sent us his thoughts on Alien. Let's hear from Doug.
Hey guys, so here's my take on Alien. I actually saw it second. I caught Aliens first because it happened to be on CBS when they used to do primetime movies. So I watched that and was scared, but really enjoyed the movie, and I'd come back to it. Then a couple of years later, one of the local stations, when they used to show Sunday afternoon, if you can believe this, Sunday afternoon matinee movies, they had Alien, and so I happened to catch it. It was on a little it might have been a black and white TV, a little portable TV in my room, and I just remember it being a totally different vibe than Aliens. Like, it was just scary, and I had those nervous shakes that I didn't quite get in Aliens. Like I kind of did, but it was just a different feeling. Maybe it was because it was just the one alien and they had no weapons, and even like the visceral stuff, like seeing the face hugger and seeing the chest burster scene and all that. Even though I was familiar with it because of Aliens and Spaceballs and stuff like that,
Right.
to see it even on like this little TV was just frightening.
It's
And
awesome.
just like I couldn't turn away from watching it. And so, as I've gotten older, I still like Aliens. I still like watching that as the fun, semi-scary action movie that it is. But you really can't beat the original.
True.
Just on all the fronts, the acting,
There you
the
go.
visuals,
Doug rules.
the directing, just all of it. And so it's a unique experience, like discovering Aliens, I'm sure, compared to other people you've talked to. But hope you dig it. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
Amazing. So
Awesome.
cool.
So that's my buddy Doug Hills. He's a tremendous illustrator. You should check him out on the socials. Maybe we'll post something to tie it into this episode. But there's a couple things he touched on in there, and a great voicemail. But the one thing Shawnee brought up is the black and white TV. So that was, I've come all the way out in the last episode with my age grouping. So that was my first TV, was a black and white TV in my room. And it was just a TV that was probably my parents had in the house before, we weren't using it. So when I was finally allowed to have a TV in my room, I had that. And I would always watch the monster movies on the weekends and stuff.
That's what it was, the Sunday matinee. That was the monster. That was where I would watch all my Godzilla movies.
And the funny thing is, it gave everything. It's like when they put out Godzilla -1 in black and white, like it gives it this incredible look when you do that. And I used to, you're supposed to go to sleep at a certain time. And I used to take a blanket and cover the TV. Right. So kids now are hiding iPads and iPhones and stuff, but I would cover the TV and then sit under the blanket, like, I don't know, 10 inches from the screen or something, so that my parents couldn't see the light on underneath the door. Right. So if I muffled it enough under the door, maybe it looks like a night light or light from outside or something. So I would sit there and watch movies like that in the pitch black in my room underneath the blanket in front of this little dinky black and white TV. But I was thinking of that and just how many people he brings up Spaceballs.
So that's probably where I first saw the fake,
that's crazy
the parody of it before actually seeing the real thing.
So if you see it that way, did it lessen the impact?
Yeah, probably, yeah, because it was, and by then I had already seen like other horror movies that were even crazier. So it wasn't. I wasn't there when it originally happened, so it wasn't as mind-blowing for me. I was already kind of jaded by that point.
Yeah, it's interesting. A whole generation of people. I mean, that's not, the movie's an older movie now into itself. I don't know what year. We should look it up. I wonder what year Spaceballs came out. Was it, if you look it up, I'm wondering if it's after Aliens, or because we figure Aliens, I believe, is 86, if I'm getting that correct.
Spaceballs is 87.
87. So that would have been a year after. Aliens was 86, right?
I am checking that now.
Okay, so I think Aliens was 86.
86, yeah.
So think of it, Alien comes out in 1979. It takes 7 years to make a sequel to that movie. Partly probably because it must have been really difficult to have somebody even want to approach that because of the uniqueness of this film and the way everything came together. And that's where, we'll talk about Aliens and we'll talk about the doc, but that's where James Cameron steps in.
Blow of all the hell.
And much respect to him in this way. He looks at the original and says, I can't go there. Like, I can't do that. I can't replicate that. It's also the 80s. So we are going to...
Rambo.
Right. You got films like Rambo and Commando and all that Schwarzenegger and all that Stallone stuff coming out, and Cobra and all this other stuff, and it had to kind of fit in that because they put a lot of money behind it at that time, and so like the budget was super high and the special effects were very, very extensive compared to the original film, so they had to ramp it up, just much like he does Terminator, but then he does T2, and that gets ramped up and more in that style too. I mean, as well, but yeah, it's interesting. I didn't think of that before. How many people saw the Spaceballs scene before they saw this? I mean, that probably happens a lot. How many people probably saw parodies of Texas Chainsaw Massacre before they actually ever saw it, or maybe they didn't even see it. They only saw the parodies of it. Interesting. Very interesting. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
We got one more email and one more voice note. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Our last email comes from our buddy Thomas Cops 2. Still not spam. From your boy, High Five Tom. Whoa. Okay, this is pretty long. Let's get into it.
Don't read it fast, Sean. Go slow.
Hey guys, I always start these emails with the intention of not writing a novel, but alas, it never works. First, I want to say thank you for hipping me to some new movies. Your episode on Arrival, Color Out of Space, and Lucy. Yes, even Lucy.
Wow, that's good. But 2 out of 3 is not bad,
Have put these movies on my proverbial radar that would not previously have been on said radar. I did watch Lucy and thoroughly enjoyed it, and will track down the other 2, but they are officially on the to-be watch list. I'll tell you where you could probably get them from. Your local library. Shout outs to your local library. Another thanks for adding the Judgment Night songs to the In Madness playlist per my last email. Thank you. I was obviously stoked to have them on there, but flattered my email helped get them there. Speaking of the In Madness playlist, Vertebrae, great call on Dead Embryonic Cells. That song rules, but the slow melody into the breakdown makes the song next fucking level. That song should be on anyone's listening Run Through a Brick Wall playlist. Speaking of slow into heavy breakdown songs, Pantera, This Love is such a fun example of how to do that for a whole song. Still going. Also, this may sound weird, but my buddy co-host has gotten me into comics recently, which is only weird as it took me 45 years to start, but here we are. Alan Moore is someone I have gravitated to. Shout outs to Alan Moore. We covered him on which episode? V for Vendetta?
On V for Vendetta. We've talked about doing another episode just about Alan Moore as well.
Watchmen and all, and his wackiness. He says, Alan Moore is someone I have gravitated to, being a counterculture-minded person myself, and both The Watchmen and V for Vendetta are both in my top to-be read milk crate. Just for clarification, I have so many books I need to read. I have to organize them in milk crates. And the top one is the books that are closest to being read. In my newfound my James Tylon 4, and I love everything he does, and him having Milwaukee ties doesn't hurt. I'm not familiar with that guy.
What was the name again, Sean?
It says James Tylon 4. I don't know what that is.
What's the book?
It doesn't say.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't say.
Sometimes I'm not good with authors, but I do remember the book names.
He also mentions Black and Brave in here. Do you want me to go about the Black and Brave, or I could skip that part?
Yeah, I don't care.
He says a couple of wrestling things. Vertebrae, that rules that you work with Black and Brave in Iowa. As a fan who's deeply entrenched in Midwest wrestling scene, Black and Brave are ground into our scene like ticks in a good way. Those kids come out of the academy ready to go. Every promoter that I know loves having any Black and Brave students on a card because they know they are going to show up and put in the work. I know a few that are definitely going to be on weekly cable here within the next few years for sure. Hell yeah. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Speaking of wrestling, Sean, you will chuckle, but I have the honor of picking up Schlack from the airport. Shout outs to my man Schlack, getting him to a show in a couple of weeks. Pretty stoked to be eating some chicken with him. Yeah, shout outs to my man Schlack, one of the scariest and nicest dudes I know. I have some fun thoughts on your awesome alien experience, but we'll leave that for next time. Okay, all good. I appreciate this email. In closing, just want to say thank you to you guys for all the great content and knowledge. That is a great ride, and appreciate all you do. P.S. Also, Sean was listening to the Josta podcast, and he gave you a huge shout out for your help at a recent festival. Yeah. Shout outs to Jamie Josta, my man, Hatebreed, front man. Peace, Tom Cops, aka Mott Spock, aka Tom DeBomb, aka High Five Tom. Thank you.
That's awesome. I like his emails. These are really good emails. He's also has like a lot of AKAs. He's got a lot of like.
I like a person with a lot of names. I go by a lot of names myself.
Do you really?
Yeah. People usually call me by an abbreviated version of my last name. So I have that, and then I have my first name, and then I have the alias name, and then older.
Oh.
Yeah. Too many aliases. Too many.
Yeah.
It's not necessary.
Man. Nope. Nobody calls me at all, Sean. So
I call you Vertebrae 33 all the time. We don't use government names in Madness. We got one more voicemail.
All right, let's do it.
It's from my buddy Charlie, and I'm telling you, he went in on this one. He even asked me to edit it, which is exactly why I am not.
Oh man, what if he like messes up in the middle?
We'll see. It is 4 minutes. We discussed this, and we're like, "Do I listen?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want to listen. I want to hear it first."
I do feel bad if there's a part he's like.
We'll see. It's 4 minutes long. Charlie is gonna love anything that we do with him involved. This is Charlie, my man Charlie, his take on the movie Alien. It's 4 minutes long. Let's go.
Hey, what's up? This is Charlie from the band Rule of Thumb.
Rule of Thumb.
Wanted to share my thoughts on the movie Alien for the In Madness podcast.
Yes.
The first Alien film was one of the most influential movies of my youth. I remember seeing it way before I should have been allowed to see it.
Vertebrae.
In my friend's dark basement.
You can Slim Jims.
And being horrified at the tension that they build throughout the beginning of the film. What I love about Alien versus Aliens, which are both incredible films, is Alien is basically a horror flick. Aliens is an action movie.
Yep.
Both are awesome. But Alien,
stay
for me,
focused, Charlie. Stay focused.
Will always take the cake. The fact that you don't see the actual alien until way into the movie, and just for a split second in the air shaft, when that alien throws his hands out,
jazz hands,
and then they cut. That's one of the scariest moments in cinema history for me.
Sweet.
That movie really helped change my views of what a movie could do and what a movie could be. I remember getting so much more into science fiction and alien films because of this movie.
My man Charlie, he's a cameraman, so he's all
Ridley
about
Scott basically in 1979 put this film out 2 years after Star Wars was out. So the buzz and the excitement of science fiction, space movies was out there. And I just think of how much I love Star Wars, but in comparison, like, holy shit, Alien blows every science fiction film out of the water.
I love you, Charlie.
And then a couple years later, in 1982, Ridley Scott comes out with Blade Runner.
Oh, Vertebrae.
Another one of my favorite science fiction films.
Sounds like an indigestion.
My two favorite characters in the movie are, the two engineers, Parker and Brett.
Yep. Right.
They have some of the funniest lines in the movie, and I love the comic relief that they lend to the film to cut the tension.
Right.
After seeing Romulus, I had a good laugh in that film because
Oh, wait.
in Alien,
Wait. Oh, it's okay.
Parker is saying, "Why don't you freeze
the
face grabber?"
Pause it.
When
hang on, pausing.
Kane,
there is 40 seconds left.
I'm just gonna say right now, we don't know what he's about to say.
Spoiler alert.
He's mentioning Alien Romulus. If you have not seen it, which I have not,
it's been a while. Yeah,
it's not been that long. It's been a
couple months.
It's not been a couple months. It's been a month. But if you have not seen, it's not even digitally released yet. It's been 1 month.
Charlie's blowing up.
Charlie's about to destroy.
Ready? Let's go. We got 45 more seconds. I don't think he'll say anything crazy. He knows better.
Is in the med bay, and they're trying to figure out how to get this thing off of him, and he keeps on saying, "Why don't you freeze it? Why don't you freeze him? Hey, why don't they freeze him?"
Yep.
Right.
And in Alien Romulus,
spoiler,
they did that. They froze it, and it worked. So I laugh all the time about that and think about it because he was right, and they could have saved the crew and the ship and avoided everything. And in Alien Romulus, they froze it.
Movie for me.
And it worked. Alien's one of my favorite science fiction films and one of my favorite films of all time. And I'm really excited to be a part of the In Madness podcast and can't wait to hear the episode.
That's it from Charlie. Dropping bombs.
Charlie just spoiled the movie for me.
I mean, I don't even remember that part that he's talking about.
I'm
honestly,
gonna watch it very soon, and I get really disappointed when it gets to that part because Charlie just trashed it,
blew it out the water. But you said you've been telling me for a month and a half. You've read,
but not that one. That one I didn't read.
That was the one you didn't read.
That was the one I didn't read. Was that one? But it's okay, Charlie. I'll forgive you. It's all good. You know, Sean, he's big on the dramatic pauses between sentences.
You wanted hate mail. We're going to get it now because of Charlie.
I thought it was great.
But so good. Charlie is a cameraman, so he's got a hard on for like shots and focus and like Charlie notices things about movies that I don't even realize, and I've been watching them for 20 years.
It's awesome. Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate it. I mean, I don't thank you for spoiling Romulus for me, but yeah, the other stuff is fine. By the time you hear this podcast, I'll have probably seen it, and it'll just be a sad moment when that happens.
You'd be like,
so is that how it ends? I mean, I
don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember. There's so many other like things that happen that you can talk about. So we'll discuss it when we'll do a 0.5 on Romulus when you see it. Regardless.
Well, you know, my thoughts are our next film. After our next film,
we're putting it up.
We have to put it up for everyone to vote. And I think that should be one of the choices if we put up 3, because it is, if you go with us doing things in order, it would be the next film in the Alien franchise.
But also, like, I really need it to be out, and I need to watch it and like write about it, and I don't think it's going to be out by the time we do that 3 voting thing.
It'll be out. It drops soon.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Very soon.
Okay.
Yeah, so you didn't think it was out because it just came out in the theater. You're telling me it's been out forever, man.
I mean, I feel like it's been out for a couple months.
No, not at all. But I let's see. But I think if it's not included in that choice, then it should be included the next time we do that, because
I already have one of my choices. I figure I pick a choice, you pick a choice, and then we pick one that we can both agree on.
Oh, you got one already. Okay, good.
This one I really we haven't done it. It's another classic that we haven't done and I want to do, and then don't really care to do any of the movies after it, but I'll probably get shit for that too.
Oh boy. Huh. I don't know. I can't even guess. You surprised me.
Yeah, I was gonna
see it.
I can say it now. Yeah, I could say it now, but I'm just gonna wait.
Yeah, you're gonna tell me this is a revelation.
Now we'll just wait. And I'll wait till I'll text you that one day and I'll be like, today's the day that I'm posting. It'll probably be when we hear this episode. Maybe we'll post it then. And I'll be like, here's my movie, and I'll be like, what's your movie? And then we'll pick a third movie, and then
I don't want to know yours until it's a choice.
Yeah. And then we'll let the In Madness family see where you guys are going to select our movie coming up soon. So start getting excited, please.
Yeah, is it Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Sean? Is that the one you're?
No, it's Charlie and the Alien Romulus Spoilers Factory.
Oh, you know what's funny is I didn't even think of it. I forgot about this.
Thank you for joining us.
It was awesome. Thank you.
Premiere podcast, In Madness Pod, on the socials at In Madness Pod, inmadnesspod@gmail.com to send us voice notes now and emails, and we will play anything you say, regardless of spoilers, unless I'm going to start editing before we air them for the future episodes. But I think all the ones we got were perfect. And if you want to send us one about the Alien episode or any of our previous movies we have covered, in madnesspod@gmail.com. We are also on YouTube. You can watch on YouTube. We are also have a Spotify playlist where we add music all the time. We didn't add a song from this episode. Very surprising. Very surprising. It's rare.
I mean, did we add something from the Goldsmith score for Alien? Jerry Goldsmith's score for Alien? We should probably
did we? Okay.
Yeah, you should definitely add one.
I don't think.
But Sean, we're on the downside, headed straight towards episode 100, meaning total episodes, not by our ridiculously number system, but total episodes of 100. So I think that's something to really celebrate when we get there, and we will do something special.
Pizza party.
Oh, maybe we should do the other thing we talked about in the
go get a sandwich from Mission.
So before we jump off, if you started listening to this podcast, and I do this because you sort of shotgun a bunch of bunch of episodes of something, and then you take a break, and then you dive back in. There are some people who listen every Monday, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
But there are people that listen to them in bulk, and I've done that too, where you kind of listen you rapid fire a few episodes and then move on and come back. But if you were somebody who started with us in the beginning, and then you left for a while, and you're coming back now, be like, wait, they never went to get that sandwich? Because there were a lot of episodes that we talked about it.
We're hanging out tomorrow. In Madness family, me and Vertebrae are hanging out tomorrow. From the day that we're recording this episode, we are hanging out tomorrow, and then he's going to be with me all day Saturday. We will get out to do something. I should just bring you a sandwich. We do get out and do stuff. We just cannot make it to Brooklyn. It is just really difficult.
Right. And we also plan to view something together too, and we're still going to do that.
Oh yeah, in the igloo.
Yep. Yeah.
Shout outs to Mission Sandwich in Brooklyn. Go pick up the Hail Show. I got my own sandwich in Brooklyn. Shout outs to Mission Sandwich. And if you want an In Madness t-shirt, go to inmadness.com. So we have our next episode, which I guess is going to be the Comic-Con episode. We are going to follow that with a nice little surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to take like a week off. I think we're planning things out, and then we're going to give you guys a chance to pick the next movie for us. That'll be a lot of fun. This was awesome. Thank you everybody who wrote emails. Thank you everybody who contributed voice notes, vertebrae, or anything you want to plug before we wrap up episode 34.75. This is.
No, I would like people to send us pictures of any cool mugs they have. I want to see people's stuff from their mug collection. Any kind of mug. I don't care. Doesn't even have to be movie related. If you got a cool mug with a bunch of cats on it, I want to see it. Vegetables, I want to see it. I want to see any mug you got, anytime, anywhere. My collection is growing. Mrs. Vertebrae is not so happy about that, but it's growing. She's contributing though. She's giving me gifts that are mugs, so you can't.
We call that enabling.
Yeah, I'm being enabled this giant mug collection. But no, I'm Vertebrae33 on all the socials. Check me out. I got shirts for sale. I got shirts in Hot Topic. You can buy my Terrifier shirt in Hot Topic right now, and have a Halloween shirt as well.
All the shirts you have been posting, all of them, the frogs, the purple, devil dude, the Terrifier shirt. Go check out Vertebrae on the socials. Everything you've been posting is so freaking sick.
Awesome. Thank you. And we'll have some more stuff revealed by the time you listen to this. You'll have seen it, but Can't reveal it yet, but a couple cool things in the works.
Hell yeah. Cool. So we got all this stuff, and we will see you next week for the Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con episode of In Madness Pod. See you out there.